Welcome to the second hour of Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. We are live from the Tsavo West National Park, the Mactau North Gate. Today is World Ranger Day. We're here so that we can celebrate with the rangers, honoring the work that they do in conservation, in protecting wildlife, in educating the people about conservation and all, and also in just helping to nurture the animals that we have. What you see from out there is the sun rising from the east. We are on the west side of the Tsavo, and then we have some officers from out there, including the head of this park. We are seeing what the rangers will be commemorating, some of the equipment that they use, in protection of our wildlife. They use solar, they use drones, kama C4 teknolojia, wakona explosives ama hizo nini, watatuambia some of the things that we are seeing here. And in the room here we'll be having a baraza with some of those rangers. And like we said, rangers are not just the ones that we see manning the gates at the KWS parks, or those that we see patrolling the parks. There are actually very many professions who work for Kenya Wildlife Service, protecting and conserving the wildlife. So we'll get into that conversation shortly. First, let's give you our news fix for the hour. We know President William Ruto delivered his special address to the nation last night, in which he talked about says Kenya missed three major global economic transformations that propelled many countries to prosperity. He was speaking at the national address from State House, where he urged the country to embrace bold economic reforms, saying nations that adopted transformative policies have since overtaken Kenya, despite starting from similar or lower economic levels. He's calling for a new development path to secure a better future for generations to come. Also, on our second news fix, former Chief Justice David Maraga was questioning whether the government economic gains have improved the lives of ordinary Kenyans. He was reacting to the president's national address, where he urged Kenyans to assess their financial situation since the president took office, citing the rising cost of food, fuel, and education as key indicators of the country's economic reality. The former Chief Justice was making remarks in a post on X last night after he sat to watch the president's speech, like the rest of us. All right, so let's get into our conversation with the Rangers. Today is World Rangers Day. Felaris, you were out there and you spoke to one of the bosses of the Rangers here.
Yeah.
Now we want to speak to some of the Rangers here. Kuna wale wako na bunduki kama huyo wako karibu na mimi. Hii bunduki ni ya kuua simba ama ni ya kuua mtu. We'll find out. Okay? Guy is looking serious. Smile tu kidogo.
Nito sura ya kazi.
Happy World Rangers Day, man. Hey, boss. Ebu fanya hivi kacha cock it.
Cannot.
Inua tu hivyo juu. Ambia simba simama. So all these rangers were here.
Yes.
There are many. The lady sitting next to you, the gentleman next to me, huyu ako na bunduki, huyu ako na fimbo, huyu anakaa mdosi. Atatuambia.
Umejuaje?
Hata ukiangalia huku kama huyu ako na 3 stars, huyu bossman.
Yeah.
But talk to some of them.
Absolutely. And, how do you even identify a ranger? People go and buy camouflage clothes out there.
Yes.
And you could mistake them either for police or for a ranger. So how do you even start identifying a ranger? But sijui katutachukua time junataka kujua kila mtu hapa.
Yes.
But then again,
tuko na 2 hours.
we have 2 hours.
Yeah.
I want to start with the lady who sat on my right-hand side. Your name is I did, but you could just tell us very quickly your name and what you do as a ranger.
Good morning, all. I'm Stacey Adhiambo. I'm the current Education and Tourism Ward in Tsavo West National Park.
Education.
What does
Tell
that
us
mean?
more about that. What does that mean?
As in, I did not know that we have an education ministry for animals. Like, Simba inaenda shule. When you're Minister of Education, what does that mean, basically?
At KWS, we could say we have all those departments just to ensure the welfare, not just for the wildlife. Because most of the time out there, it's talked about as we love animals, we don't love people. So today it's important people know that there are all departments whereby some of us, we work mostly with the communities and those outside the park, trying to educate them more about our wildlife and more about our wildlife and ensuring it's more like nurturing a generation.
I see.
Because conservation doesn't end with us. You'll realize in the mandate of KWS is nurturing wildlife for us and for the future generation. And there's this notion always used when you visit the park whereby they say leave nothing but your footprints. We need to get that information out there so that the upcoming generation can also get conservation and get to live and see this wildlife that we are enjoying as of now.
So Stacey, what did you study?
I did biological sciences, botany and zoology, Maseno University.
Wow. Okay. So basically you charted your path into conservation, into working in the conservation space.
I would say so, but mostly when you're in the university, you are more of just studying for the sake of it. But my path into conservation came when I had a certain person talking about elephants as if they are humans. And I was curious, how do you get to that point? How do you get to a point of talking this early? You see the way Craig was trending?
Yeah.
People are talking about Craig as if Craig is a person. So I met someone and I was so green in conservation, then got curious and I was like, wow, this is my way to go.
Just for the avoidance of any kind of, who's Craig? To anyone who's hearing that name for the first time.
Craig, I don't know if I'll call him it's an icon. It's an evidence of conservation. Craig is a collective effort of all of us here. And for revenue purposes, I'll call Craig, I don't have the best term.
Okay.
Do you know what you are to your mom? I will go specifically for mothers because mothers love their children.
Yeah.
Do you know what you are to your mom? Craig was that to us, to Kenya, to KWS. Craig was an incredible feature. Was an incredible person. I'll just let me personalize Craig. Craig was an incredible person. Imagine living in history, having all those people who love you, and then you're just living your life. You don't even know you don't know what's going around, but when you pass, everybody is dying to see you.
Yeah.
Craig is an icon. That's all I have to say.
Craig was an iconic elephant that sadly passed away. Your name and what it is that you do.
Okay, my name is Hannah Ngarama and I'm assistant warden at Savoyest National Park. I am in the office of the county director. I handle the admin staff in the area level. That means I make sure basically those that are in the field are well supported in terms of fuel, availability of water. Basically, I make sure that their welfare is well looked after. And I also compile the whole brief every evening. I get brief from the whole Savo conservation area on what they have done that day, and then I compile that brief that is then sent to my director. Yes.
So administrative duties and more or less support to the personnel that work here.
Yes.
It's a very critical part of the work that you do.
Thank you.
Is that all that you've been doing since you joined KWS?
No, I have also been in the security department. Actually, this was my first station, this Maktau. And basically what I used to do here was patrols inside the Savo conservation area in the Savo West, the southern sector. We used to do patrols and basically that was it, patrols, to make sure that there were no, sometimes we have challenges in the park in terms of maybe livestock and cash on.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things we usually handle. Yeah.
Just to actually speak about the Savo, and I know we'll speak to the boss around here and he'll tell us. There's this, we are on the northern side. So the road from Voi heading towards Taveta splits the Savo West into two.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
On the right side heading towards Tanzania is?
The Savo West is
Savo West.
Yes.
North.
Yes, that's the northern side.
And then the other side heading towards Taveta, heading towards Tanzania is Savo West South.
Savo West is the southern side.
Okay.
I mean Savo West. We are basically in Savo West.
Right.
This road here from Voi to Taveta separates the park into two, the northern and the southern. So we are on the northern side, and the other side of the road is the southern
And you
side.
used to patrol on there?
On the southern
South side.
side,
I
yes.
see.
And the southern side is the one that basically borders Tanzania. Yes, we have Lake Jipe on the southern side. Half of the lake is in the Kenyan side, and the other half is in the Tanzanian side. Yes.
Just in terms of sheer size, as we pass the mic, how many rangers get to patrol that side of the park?
Okay, we have a whole company, and the company has about maybe 40 to 50 personnel, but patrolling that side, the southern side, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Hannah, what made you join KWS?
I am very passionate about conservation. I studied environmental science. It's something that I have been, it's something that I have always wanted to do. Even before I joined KWS, I was working in other organizations that used to deal with conservation, but KWS was the goal destination because that's where now you handle the animals directly. That's where you get access to these animals. This is where now you can be able to support the animals directly. So yeah, I was really happy when I joined KWS.
So this was like your dream job?
This was my dream job.
You're living your dream?
I'm living my dream.
Oh,
work does not feel like work.
Lovely.
Yes, yeah.
Are you the kind of person who loved cats?
Basically, yes.
And dogs?
And dogs, yes.
Like
I
the
used
lady
to
next
have,
to you?
Yeah.
Eric is convinced I need to become a ranger.
Yes, because Philaris was saying earlier that she is not sure she'd be a ranger.
Okay.
Because she feels the pain when her pets feel the pain.
Yeah.
Are you the same?
Yeah, we do feel pain when we go to the parks and maybe there's a sick elephant or a sick giraffe. You will feel the pain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
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 My name is Benson Lepayale. I'm a company commander. By saying command commander, I mean a security officer. I'm a Department of Security. I'm based in Idhumba, in Savo East National Park, Savo region. By saying region, Kenya Wildlife Service at 8 regions. So I fall under Savo Conservation Area, headed by Senior Assistant Director, Mr. Wilson Njue. So my work purely entails security. Security means goza ndovu uone.
Are you serious?
Very serious.
Na ndovu kiniguza?
Ndovu kikuguza pia, we will treat as a human. Vile sheria inavaa. Lakini ukiguza ndovu.
So Benson, wewe ni kama OCPD wa nao nini?
ya wanyama.
Ya ndovu.
Ya ndovu.
And that.
Correct.
So the officers like he who has a gun, now they're under your command.
They are under my command.
I see.
They are under my command. I supervise them. I control them. I deploy them.
So where do you deploy these officers?
I deploy them in protected areas, especially where now I head is the northern side of the Savo East National Park. Earlier I said Savo Conservation Area contains 5 companies. So in my company, I have an area of jurisdiction. I have a specific area that I have to guard. So I deploy my team according to the hotspot areas because we have the bad guys that enters into the park, they kill the elephants and run away. So I deploy them according to the hotspot areas, areas that are possible exit and entries of the enemies
Okay.
or of the poachers.
The issue about poaching has been in our conversation for a long time, for many years. Do we still have the challenge of poaching today as it was, say, 40 years ago?
Yeah, we still have challenge, but at the time we have contained. It's a bit minimal. But for security, we don't assume. We just treat as there is a threat all the time. Because we have to make sure our elephants are always safe. Yes.
Kitambo, it used to be, especially protect our elephants because people are poaching the elephants for the tusk. Now we've been seeing lately the other smaller animals that are under threat. What is the biggest threat to our wildlife today in terms of poaching? Which one is more under threat of poachers?
The small animals like dig-digs, we have a very big threat currently.
Hiyo ndio tunakula.
Especially most of the communities surrounding the protected areas wanaua dig-dig sana. We are trying to make awareness day and night. The service is doing a lot of awareness to ensure, because imagine kuwa dig-dig kama 20, 30, 50 hata 100. Ukiwa dig-dig 100, kati ya hiyo 100 akina mama kwa hiyo dig-dig ni ngapi?
Yeah. That's
Ambaye imeosha watoto wangapi? Hii nyama ya dig-dig ijapimwa na daktari. So it's not healthy for human consumption. So we are making a lot of awareness. The organization is also introduce kitu tunaitwa force multiplier, introduction of the new technology, issues of drones, issues of camera traps, ambaye inani assist kwa kazi yangu kwa deployment ya rangers.
Okay. Benson, let's take a quick break and we come back and speak to all the other rangers in the room. Today we are marking World Rangers Day, so we want to have as many conversations as with these rangers as possible, just to understand the expanse. You can hear they are passionate about the job that they do. They have specifics of the jobs that they do. One is in training, community engagement. The other one is basically in security. Another one is on administration. We'll speak to veterinary doctors who are here and officers and others. This is World Rangers Day, coming to you live from the Tsavo West National Park, Mactau North Gate in Taita Taveta County. That's how we fix the nation. One conversation at a time, one animal at a time. There's a fixer who's asking, kama mosquito pia iko considered under KWS. Yeah?
actually I want to layer that fixer's question with the issue of poaching of safari ants.
Yes.
But
The safari ants. We saw the safari ants also being poached. So let's take that quick break. We'll be back shortly.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nelson. I'm from Meru. I'm a farmer both in animal and crop production. I'm fixing the nation by providing fully organic crops and animal products like milk, eggs, meat, and everything. Shout out to everyone who is doing their part in fixing the nation.
Welcome back. What's up, nation? And thank you very much, Nelson from Meru, for sending us that video. We are live from the Mactau North Gate of the Tsavo West National Park. And as you can see there, that's our drone shot from the gate. At the gate of the park, this is just off the Voi-Tsavo Highway. Please, if you're heading towards Mombasa and you just turn right at Voi, you will come all the way here to the Tsavo West National Park. You'll see the Mactau North Gate on the right side as you head towards Taveta. Ingia, Salimia Rangers hapo. Ingia kwa e-Citizen, Lipa, ingia kwa park. And this, what you're seeing now here is what you will be seeing if you come to the Tsavo West National Park. Beautiful shots. But more than that, you'll actually see the animals. Later, through this conversation, we'll actually follow this drone to go and see all the animals in the park, all right? Fixers wanafurahia sana just to see that we have rangers here with us, and they say, well done Fixing the Nation for bringing this special edition with the rangers. I definitely need to visit the Tsavo East and West National Parks. That's Alfred Kimondo. Samuel Kanieru says, Garama, my namesake, how are you? Amekusalimia. Amesalimika, Samuel. Francis Mwayu anasema tuwasalimia sana, salimia the Rangers, ambia wao kazi mufti, in case wapatane na fisi, wapatie fisi salamu zetu za 30. Anasema wanyama wanaendanga Sunday school. All right. Minchoras, the Rangers look like they've witnessed combat, serious. Still Mike the one says, one thing I admire about the Rangers is dedication, working under hostile environment, securing pure, untamed wild animals, plus threatened by armed poachers. I salute you. Prime Feliz, the rangers are doing a good job. However, the way most of them treat local tourists is way different from how they treat international tourists, especially those from outside of the country and outside the continent. Are the standards different? That's a question that obviously is always asked of the rangers, and we'll get to asking those rangers those questions. We are actually just, saying hello to the rangers. There are various units in KWS. There are those, like the one led by Benson, whom we spoke to just before this, that their job is security, patrol, and they use various equipment. They use drones like the way we are seeing, and others. They have armed officers patrolling. Those are the ones that Benson, somebody's asking, are there times when you've actually had to witness armed poachers, but also have you been put at harm by an animal? When you're patrolling, so the enemy that you're looking for is one who's out to harm the animal. But then animals are wild. Are there times when the animals actually now come and they want to come at you? You'll answer that as you tell us your name and what you do. Hold it close.
Thank you very much. My name is Ndorosi Kilodi. I'm a community warden based at Voi from a community wildlife service department. This is a department that is responsible for the protection of people and their properties, and also dealing with wildlife outside protected areas. We ensure that any wildlife outside protected areas is safe. Yeah, that's the main responsibility. We ensure the community is safe and the wildlife is safe. And we do this through various methods. We have barriers like electric fences, and also we have teams. We have deployed teams in various hotspot areas just to ensure that they respond as quickly as possible to ensure that people are protected.
Okay. So you deal with those that are outside, like the national park, now you're the community. Are these the community conservancies or just out in the people's farms?
Okay, we have wildlife in our protected areas as well as wildlife in community conservancies. We deal with, once wildlife is out of the protected areas and also from the community conservancies, when it comes to the community areas, that's when we ensure that we return it to where it belongs.
All right. Let's hear from an officer here. Lenny De Steve is asking, are there incidences where rangers have been cornered by animals at the Savo? This one has a gun. Clearly,
he's able to...
He's out there.
Yeah.
He's a man of the ground. Please tell us your name, what you do at KWS, and how you do it. Hold the mic close here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Emmanuel Kibet from Southwest National Park, Ngulia Rhino Sanctuary. So basically, we do patrols, rhino monitoring, and at times, cases of animals attacking rangers in the field are there. But again, we have to defend yourself in rare cases. Yeah, so you can as well chased by animal. So you look for the obstacle or anything you can use to protect you from that animal, or you can as well use this rifle to scare away that animal, and then you take the next course of action.
So what do? You shoot them in the leg?
No. You don't shoot the leg. You only scare it into the air, and then you look for an escape route.
Kibet, I'm interested. Just give us one incident from your own, because you have done this work for a number of years now, I can imagine. Give us one incident when you actually encountered an animal that was hostile to you.
Yeah, as I said, we do rhino monitoring patrols, and then you find a scenario whereby you are tracking an animal, let's say during the morning or late in the evening. Then as you track that animal, animals are best in their senses. They use their ears to hear anything around, or use their noses to smell. And then as you are tracking that animal along that route, so if you get nearer to it, because it was not expecting anything within or anybody within that area, and then that animal comes to you. Then when it comes to you, remember, if you are not alone, you have your colleagues and then the first one to spot that animal like you, then you have to you pave way for that animal, and then if rather not alerted the people or the rangers are behind you, then it is easy for you to be attacked.
Yeah.
So there was a case whereby we were tracking that animal, and then all of a sudden we were attacked by that animal, and then we dashed down. The animal crossed, and then one of my colleagues was injured in the leg. Yeah.
Ilikuwa animal gani?
Ni rhino.
Rhino.
Yes.
Okay.
Rhino kitu kubwa hivyo.
Kitu kubwa.
You know, it's how he's describing it with a smile on his face.
Hey.
He tells you one is very passionate about
What do
his
you mean
job.
ulikuwa una track rhino? Ulikuwa
So-
how far behind of the rhino?
Yeah, unajua once lazima ufuate mnyama sababu unataka kujua ni nani huyo mnyama, because we have that data ya kuna notches, and then you have to know ile rhino kwa area yako ni mgani, so you have to track that animal, go close to it, use the binoculars to either observe that animal and then come with that report, so that I've seen this rhino, this area, so that for it to be recorded in the database. Yeah.
So ikageuka.
Kwa hiyo harakati akageuka.
Okay.
Yeah, so kugeuka itabidi hapa na hapa, so itabidi sasa wewe mwenyewe fanya nini? Dash down and then ujitete.
So unaanguka chini alafu unaondoka kwa
Yeah, you
yake.
pave way. Inakuja mbio.
Ule ofisa yako nyuma yako sasa.
So kati ya sababu mwenyewe umestuka hivi ukageuka, then mimi nako nyuma sababu hakuwa anatarajia, so mguu kidogo afanya nini? Akakanyagwa mguu.
Oh.
Hiyo kitu yote ikakanyaga.
Ikakanyaga.
How heavy is a rhino?
How heavy is a rhino actually? About
Yeah, 7 tons, around 7 tons.
7 tons.
7 tons.
7 tons.
5.
That is 7,000 kilograms. Oh my goodness.
That is
Fella,
incredible.
imagine.
I can't even imagine. And the fact that, again, he's telling this story with a smile on his face tells you he loves his work. I'm just curious, if you have a situation like that where an animal turns on you, the response time between the station and backup, because the land is very vast, how much time does that take? Do we have challenges in terms of, access and the number of rangers that are present to respond to such a situation?
Yeah, mara mingi unapata, yes, you have communication with you, let's say a radio, and then we have good road networks. And then again, where you work, you have station, you have a vehicle with you, let's say for you use for patrols. So maybe you have been dropped somewhere to go patrols. Then that vehicle, the same vehicle awaits for you until you come back, and then you proceed to the next station, the next point. But now, in a scenario whereby you have been attacked by a rhino or injured, and then you need a special treatment, then a first aid is administered at you, as the team now get backup either through, if it's a serious injury, aircraft is requested for you to be evacuated to the hospital. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll get to the conversation of rangers we've lost in the line of duty, and just as we honor them and continue having this conversation.
Benson another.
I want to support him because it's a security aspect.
Yes.
Usually we do what we call collapse. So very early in the morning before we go to our patrols, we send briefs, then we channel it up to Nairobi. So even our boss in Nairobi knows that team, a certain section, has patrolled that area. So all our security apparatus, including the chopper, at all the times on standby. In case of any injury, maybe a ranger has been trampled by the elephant, which is immediately inakuwa airlifted na inatoka ikiwa na daktari. Na communication inaendelea. Gari inakimbisa to the nearest airstrip na inakuwa airlifted up to Nairobi.
Okay.
So kwa upande hiyo ya medication, and also we have our medivacs. Nafikiri kuna moja huko mwisho amefanya hiyo kitu. Hiyo ni first aid kit ambayo tunakuwa equipped naye. So before ndege ifike ama gari ifike, because most of the areas we patrol hakuna barabara, anakuwa attended na our rangers ambayo wana undergo training kwa Law Enforcement Academy, wanakuwa trained wapate ile first aid before awe father
Referred to another
referred to
hospital.
another hospital.
Aha.
Hebu patie hiyo Medivac officer tusikie alisomea nini, alisomea wapi na ameshika na akona bunduki. Please give us your name and what exactly you do at KWS at present.
Okay, I'm Corporal Ejore Moses. I'm a trained KWS corporal. Yes.
What do you do?
Okay, usually a corporal is the leading scout in charge of at most 10 rangers. Yeah, so he usually conducts patrols, supervises, documents. Yes. So, and also a corporal is the one who combats and attends to emerging issues in his area of jurisdictions.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember, you also have some training in on first aid and such, right? Is that true?
Yes, it is true.
Able to MBA, what exactly do you do in case like what Kibera just told us? Ndio hii a 7-ton thing has stepped on a ranger's leg. What do you do?
Okay, with me, I have a first aid kit just tied at the diff of my left leg here. So inside here, we have materials inside such as the bandages, the spirits, and the tourniquets. You know, in our
of jurisdiction,
we normally operate in a very porous environment inside the bushes, tall trees, maybe ditches, and in certain circumstances, we encounter maybe contacts with animals, maybe fall, you see, and due to the love that our service provide to us, we've undergone first aid trainings. First aid trainings, such that whenever you get injured, maybe by falling or by an animal, you are attended first by your colleagues through this first aid kit before rushed to the hospital.
Right. It's good to know that they have that as they are going out there, because unaweza imagine you are deep inside the park, it's hot. And, by the time even anybody else gets to you, if you don't have that first aid kit, then you're talking about, loss of blood, danger to life at any point. Fella, I'm seeing that among these rangers, there are those that deal with problem animals. Problem animal control. One of them is Ndorosi, who is here, but I want to hear from maybe another officer who's in problem animal control. Ndio huyu hapa nyuma yetu. Tupatie mic. What is a problem animal? And tell us your name. Utasonga hivi kidogo tu kidogo, Amos. Hapo.
I'm David Kiplangat, Deputy Warden at PAMU, Problem Animal Management Unit, based in Kiboko.
It's PAMU.
Yes, PAMU.
Problem Animal Management
Unit. Yes, PAMU.
What does that mean?
A problem animal is any animal that causes conflicts with the people.
So animal community, or not animal to animal, because the animals could be problematic to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, when an animal causes a problem to people, that animal qualified to be called a problematic animal.
Okay.
Yes.
But animals are prone to get into conflict with people. I mean, kama sasa ili karibu igonge kibet. Is that a problem animal?
No, we cannot treat that case as a problem animal.
So how do you categorize a problem animal? I mean, if an animal crossed over and went into somebody's farms and then came back, ilikuwa inatafuta chakula ama maji, imeenda imekunywa maji, ama imekula mahindi 3-4 eka, imerudi. Is that a problem animal?
Yes, that's one qualified to be a problem animal.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you do?
Okay. In PAMU, we are rapid response unit. we are spread across the country. We have our teams stationed strategically in hotspot areas. So mostly we are called by stations when they are overwhelmed by elephants. A good example of problem animals are elephants, crocodiles, hippos. And in most of the time, we scare those animals back to where they come from, mostly to the protected areas. When that measure is not working, we liaise with the capture units, which are based in headquarters. They translocate that animal.
Okay.
They carry that animal.
Okay.
Another problem animal may be snakes. Sometimes we are called by people when they spot snakes on their homestead. We take that snake, we capture it, and then we release them to the safe places. Yeah. Another work we do, we create awareness to the community. We do education that this animal, because we have the notion that the people, when they call us for the response, they normally say, come and take your animals.
Yes.
So, yes, mukujie wanyama wenyu.
Kujeni wanyama wenu.
Yes, and most of the time we tell them, this animal is not for KWS. This animal is for Kenya.
Yes.
It's for us Kenyans. Me, you, and
But that language keeps changing, Kiplagan.
Yes.
Yeah.
When the animal has been a problematic animal,
Yes.
unakuja mnasema wanyama ni wetu.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tukishika kamoja kadikidiki tukule, umekula animal ya serikali. When does an animal become kama animal ni yetu? Si wacha tukule tukishika na njaa.
Okay. There are animals which are allowed to be kept for consumption reason or consumptive use. For example, like crocodile, you can have a permit. So you can use it, you can reproduce it economically, maybe for sale, for like ostrich, for eggs, for meat. But not all animal is allowed to be consumed.
All right.
Yes, that's why we cannot allow for people to hunt for dick.
people to just take animals. You know, when you say
umekula mnyama wa serikali.
Yes.
Na ikikuja kula shamba yangu unajua mnyama ni yetu sisi wote. As we are going to the break, I want to tell you a story. As you know, I grew up in Kimana.
Yes.
Kimana, we conserve wildlife.
Yes.
Amboseli iko hapo. We have Kimana Sanctuary. The Chulu is not far from us. You know, Savo pia iko. Now, we are farmers. Nyanya, vitunguu, mahindi, you know, watermelon, paipai, ng'ombe, mbuzi, umbwa ya kuchunga nyumba, kuku. There used to be a time before now Kimana and Kimana Sanctuary into Amboseli, there's an electric fence. Before that fence was put up, those things, the Jumbos, used to have a meeting in the evening and they decide they have their Benson, who is their company commander, who sends them. Sasa leo tutaenda ile shamba iko pande ile Tikondo.
Pale tuliona mapapai imeiva.
Kuna mapapai tumeambiwa imeiva. They land onto your farm, my friend. By the time mujue what has happened, they have walked in an acre and a half or more. And by the time now people are making the noise, trying to chase them away. And Kiplagat huko ako ndani ya park alikuwa na patrol ile side ingine. Chaos. Now that animal is not a problem to me, by the way. That animal is an enemy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And many times we don't have that frustration because by the time you now get to report to KWS that these animals came, and then the KWS will be like, all right, so we'll be doing a patrol. They're doing a patrol on that one side. The animals have crossed over to the other side. The importance of fencing around the conservation areas is what I'm highlighting. And also community engagement with the Kenya Wildlife Service.
Correct.
When community reports a conflict, how does KWS and the rangers, how do they handle it?
How do they respond?
Do they come to us and tell us, usiguze wanyama ni ya serikali? Or do they come and tell us, poleni, let's see how to do. But let's take a break. We'll raise those questions because, of course, you know what has happened in Kimana recently. If you don't know, you'll know. It's coming up to 8 a.m. We are marking World Rangers Day with rangers at the Savo West National Park at the Mactau North Gate. It's a beautiful place out there. If you haven't been to any of the Savos, please, or any of our national park, go to any of our national parks. When you find those rangers, know that these are people who are committed to conservation. They have studied conservation. They do a lot, not just patrols, not just manning the gates. They also have, you know, these officers that we're talking about. They have first aid officers. We have veterinary officers. We'll be talking to a vet and the others. Keep it here. We'll be back shortly.
KIFWA has partnered with Nation Media Group. Allow me invite you to the East Africa Logistics, Warehousing and E-Commerce Conference and Expo that will be held on the 30th and 31st July 2026. We all know that logistics is the backbone of every economy. From the goods we consume, the companies that operate, the goods imported into the country, all exports that leave Kenya, we understand that an efficient logistics and supply chain solution is paramount to achieving that. On behalf of KIFWA, allow me invite to this conference that will give us an opportunity to address some of emerging challenges and seek solution towards bettering our logistics sector.
Public participation. Governments don't work in a vacuum. Article 10 of our Constitution requires your input on how public money is spent. Don't wait for projects to fail. Attend local budget hearings and town hall meetings. Your silence is a lost opportunity for development.
You feel that? The crash zone.
Crash what?
The crash zone. It builds suspense, uncovers evidence, foreshadows danger. You feel it now?
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll go and try and find a ladder.
Welcome back. This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time, live from the Savo West National Park. We are marking World Rangers Day today with rangers at the Savo West National Park, and we're just hearing what they do. In fact, there's some who are crossing over from the Savo East National Park. It's vast. We are celebrating even those in all other national parks, in game reserves, and in conservancies. Everybody who is a ranger in all these areas, we salute you today. Before we get into our conversation, let's bring you our news fix for the hour. Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata says Kenya has not achieved the economic growth needed to realize Vision 2030. You don't say. He says that we required a growth of at least 7% to meet the development goals. Yes, and he was making the remarks as the president outlined plans for a new development framework beyond 2030. Now, the Murang'a governor is calling for addressing existing gaps as Kenya shifts focus to its next long-term development agenda. Indeed, one thing that you have to credit President William Ruto for is stealing the limelight from everybody else
and
shaping the conversation. alichukua limelight, hustler. Everybody was like hustler, even the opposition.
Yeah.
He shaped the conversation in Singapore. Everybody is Singapore. Now it's the next plan.
It's like, no.
Everybody is reacting to the next plan. You agree, you disagree, but you're talking about what
But
you
you
said.
have to react. That's relevance. And it's, just trying to make sure that, one, you are not reading the room. And reading the room is listening to him.
Yeah.
and seeing what it is he's talking about. On to a second news fix for this hour before getting back into conversation with the men and women that we're celebrating today. UEFA has threatened World Cup boycott over FIFA investor plan. We had a conversation about this yesterday. UEFA has threatened to boycott the FIFA World Cup if FIFA proceeds with plans to involve private investors in the tournament. Now, the European football governing body said no UEFA national team would participate unless the proposal is fully withdrawn. Now, UEFA insisted the World Cup is not for sale, in quote, and should not be treated as an investment product. Now, the warning adds pressure on FIFA amid growing opposition to the reported proposal. This world governing body and matters football, it's just, I don't know, it feels like a Netflix show at this point.
There's a lot of pushback and politics into it. It appears like Infantino's plans may actually not be realized. Ama unaweza kuta new opposition.
Yeah.
It's the guy who wants to be the next president.
We saw it during the time for Sepp Blatter.
Yep.
And, now we are seeing it with Infantino. I did see a joke yesterday, like how in the cartoon Scooby-Doo, they used to just remove the mask and then reveal who the monster is.
Yeah.
So they were saying, it's one of these days Infantino will remove his mask and we'll see Sepp Blatter. I found that to be really funny. We're back in conversation with men and women that we are celebrating today. It is World Ranger Day, celebrated across the world every 31st of July. And just before the break, we were having a conversation on the human-wildlife conflict and what we've been seeing, including just recently in the news this week, the very heartbreaking story of 15 elephants that, found their way to a farm. It is suspected they died from cyanide poisoning because they were found to have tomatoes in their stomach. And that situation could be read in so many different ways. We're having a conversation with Eric, just seeing, okay, was this possibly a reaction from the farmer who then said drastic measures had to be taken? And again, this is just speculative.
Yep.
Or is it just a situation where even the farm inputs that we are using are not good for our animals? And what is KWS doing in terms of, one, engaging communities, not even at education level to say that this is what you do when you have animals trespassing, but down to what it is they are putting onto, the farms and how that could possibly be affecting the animals. I don't know if we have any agronomists within KWS.
Not in this cohort.
Not in this cohort?
Yeah. But maybe actually just the problem animal officer. Kiplagat.
Yes.
When you go to the community and you're finding now the community is completely agitated, they are livid because the animals have crossed over into their farms or into their homes. How do you engage with that community?
Yeah.
How do you bring them to a level where they, first of all, calm down and accept to continue living and engaging with the animals? Or have you ever gotten to a place where mnaenda hapo hivyo mmeitiwa wanyama wenu lakini mnaambiwa nyinyi na wanyama wenu tokeni hapa?
Okay, in most of the cases, it is the community who give us the reports of elephant raiding their farms, crocodile attacking a child, fetching water, a lion predating on livestock, a hyena at night. When we respond to those cases, at first glance when we arrive, community appreciate just our response alone before even we do the next thing. Just our presence, it makes a difference.
Okay.
And in most of the cases, when we arrive and we find in the a key problematic animal is elephant. Mostly it's affecting many farmers. Once we have scared the elephant, we tell the farmers the problem is here. Your farm has been invaded. So we have a compensation. We have an act which guide us, Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013. It provides a rule for compensation of the losses incurred by the farmers. And we verify the loss, which will be quantified by, in case of crop destruction, it is quantified by agricultural officer based on the county level and the ward level. If it is for livestock, it is quantified by a vet officer or a livestock officer. If it is human injury, we have a doctor. If it is death, a postmortem is done, and it is, once it is known it is the animal which caused the death of that person, they are compensated. Mostly the compensation, it will not pay the full amount of the loss, but it's just a way to give them dignity. Yeah.
Do people get happy? In fact, we can even come back to Stacey, because you do a lot of community awareness and all. Are people satisfied when you come and say, sawa, wanyama wameharibu shamba lako, we are going to value this and quantify it and say this is the amount, alafu sasa Kiplanga anasema sasa tarudi kwa ofisi ndio tufanye hiyo paperwork and so on and so forth? Are people saying, okay, ni sawa, nitangojea pesa?
Okay, we are all humans, and when it comes to loss, there is anger issues involved, especially now when it comes to an affected community member. Right now, we have an ongoing training at Savo West, whereby we are training a resolution committee, whereby we are involving the community itself in conservation. It's called the Human Wildlife Conflict Resolution Committee. Part of our rangers are trained, and mostly we engage the leadership, the NGAO, the national government officials, whereby we train them especially on how to address people, because we understand when we come back, when we go to public and start talking of compensation, it's never enough.
Yeah.
Because imagine at your moment of anger, someone is telling you, I'll pay you. Maybe someone has died. So right now, I believe we are handling an uninformed generation, people who know their rights, people who know what's right from wrong. So what we are doing is involving them and moving around with, we try to partner with as much as possible stakeholders, so that we read to this community, we give them all they need. Not necessarily, I don't know how to put it. Giving them, we'll say like we are giving them money, but educating them as an education warden in Savo West. We move with people, we move with agricultural officer, telling them best farming practice, agribusiness, training them on agribusiness. We have NGOs teaching them on alternative livelihoods, just to survive as communities living alongside wildlife. So people are not there yet, because even you as a person, you're not contented with where you are. Of course. We are still moving somewhere, we are still going somewhere, but then right now, whatever we are trying to embrace is engaging this community as people, as humans. When you go to a place, you leave your uniform behind. Okay, you can go with your uniform, but what I'm trying to say is, usiende na uaskari, go as a human.
Enda kama mtu ambaye anajua.
Go address the situation at hand as a human.
Right. It's about the empathy. We'll ask that question to the Cabinet Secretary, Rebecca Miano, and the Director General, Professor Erastus Kanga, because it goes now to the policy level. How well facilitated and how quick is the response? When you talk about compensation, the amounts that are set aside in law, are they enough? Is there feedback from the community that this is not enough? Do they get paid on time? And so on and so forth. I mean, because these are things that, you know, we must discuss. Kama watu hawapendi, hawapendi.
That's true.
Na serikali ni yetu. Sisi ndio tunaipatia pesa. Na Simba ikikula chakula yangu, mimi nataka pesa yangu nirudishiwe.
Hata Simba inahitaji chakula.
Simba ikikula mbuzi yangu.
You know, I'm just thinking about a problem that she signaled too, is when you're engaging with these communities and you come dressed in uniform, you're in capacity and you're in duty, correct? But then is there a different way, and has KWS found ways of engaging the communities by having a bridge. So you have maybe community ambassadors or wildlife ambassadors that then work in that capacity because they're the people on the ground. They're the people who the people can listen to, and they're not in uniform.
Like community conservation promoters.
Correct.
Instead of community health promoters.
Exactly. Instead of having CHPs, we have CCPs who are on ground, who are there to be a conduit between the communities and the service, that there's no escalations at any such time. And if there are, then they're addressed in the right way. Do we have those people?
Yes, we have. And the most known are the honorary wardens. These are people selected by the community based on their works in conservation. So these people, we address them as bridges. So in case of a conflict, these people will be on ground, and they will mostly be the ones first hand to go, maybe handle the emotional part, address the issue before we come in, preparing the way, because we understand how anger works and how loss works. So it's important having one of their own, and they are from the communities. And above all, we also engage the local leadership, the chiefs. There are somewhere we even engage this, how are they called, community health workers. We also have scouts. Like we are interdepartmental. We are not working as one. We are not working individually as KWS. We are involving everybody who can come together and push this message of conservation.
Okay. When we talk about rangers, by the way, we have various cadres of rangers. We have heard from security officers. We've heard from teachers, like what Stacey does. We have scientists as well among the rangers who track wildlife to understand migration, health, and population dynamics. I'd like to know whether we have one of those kind of officers here. We can hear from them. We also have a veterinary doctor, treats injured animals to ensure long-term health and mitigate suffering of the injured animals. Of course, we have in administration, we have managers for resource allocation, strategic planning, empowering conservation and conservation entities. We've got engineers who maintain the fences, the infrastructure, the research equipment, communication, and community critical elements. We have marketers who promote tourism for conservation revenue and to support local communities. We have communications officers and public relations, liaising with communities, government agencies, stakeholders. All of those are rangers. I know we have a veterinary doctor, and I'd like to hear from her. Please pass on the mic to...
Where is she?
Unaweza mpatia. Ashapata mic. Please tell us your name and what you do, na kazi ya vet ya wanyama unaifanyaje?
So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Kelly Naibor, vet surgeon and assistant warden 1 here at KWS. What vet does basically...
Naomba usimame kidogo sababu. Now start again.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I'm Kelly Naibor, vet surgeon here at Kenya Wildlife Service. Basically, what we do is a team of vets and a capture unit. Whenever there is a sick animal, we diagnose the disease, treat. Sometimes in cases of problematic animal, as the team of PAMU have just said, we translocate the animal from that antagonistic area to a better place. Other things we basically do is by conducting research, collecting samples. So those are the main issues we do here at Kenya Wildlife Services.
How busy are you? Like on a daily basis, ukiamka, unaingia a job. Doctors usually have, ward rounds, then they see patients, then they admit some. There's a day for theater. Sasa wewe, you describe for us your day.
Okay. My day just starts very early in the morning. We have our rangers on the ground. So whenever they are trained to see a sick animal, so whenever they see, they just call. We receive the call and they provide the coordinates of a specific place, and we attend immediately without any delay.
Mko na hospitali?
Yeah, we collect samples, but most of the time, because this animal, an elephant is roughly 9 to 10 tons, so you can't just go collect it and take it to the hospital. So we treat most of the animals on the ground.
Okay.
Yes.
But animals naturally move.
Yes.
When it's in distress, I imagine it's trying to move away from this area that caused it distress.
Yes.
So you've been called, and here is an animal, it's injured, maybe it's been, stabbed by a buffalo, so it has, the intestines are out. Sasa nipeleka hiyo kwa mtaratara, ndio hii animal hapa, imedungwa na pembe ya animal ingine.
Okay,
imeumia.
what we do, whenever the rangers on the ground sees an injured animal, they are asked to be just around the animal until the teams arrives at that specific place. In case of, because our vegetation cover sometimes is so dense, there is a support of a chopper. You can use a chopper to locate the animal. When the animal is seen, that is prepared, anesthesia, to immobilize the animal. The animal is immobilized, treated, and revived within a period of 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the animal and the anesthesia being used at that moment. Yes.
You know, vetu wa ng'ombe akikuja nyumbani,
yes,
they come and they find that animal is sick. They prescribe medication. They tell the farmer, hii ng'ombe utakuwa ukipatia hii dawa this way. Weka kwa maji or something, or put in the meals, or utaifungua mdomo unaingiza dawa kwa mdomo. But there's a schedule for how to do that. Do you do the same in the park? Like you decide, 2 times 3?
Yes, that sometimes it happens, but most of the wild animals, we normally use long-acting antibiotics and drugs that act for a very long time, because when you treat an animal, for instance, a lion today, there is a chance it will relocate to a different place, and so most of the time we use long-acting antibiotics and other drugs to at least take that time to recover. And we also give rangers an opportunity to go around pale ndo upate kuona mnyama.
Wana observe.
Yes, to observe.
So hao marangers sana ndio wanaacha kama nurses.
Yes.
Ndio watakuwa wanapatia supervision, naangalia around mnyama vile yuko.
Yes.
Alafu daktari anakuja anafanya round.
Yes.
Unasikiaje sasa? Yes. Simba. Unasikiaje? Unasikia ni kama unaweza rudi kwa. Unaweza kimbiza swara. Yes. How do you know when an animal is healed?
Pardon?
How do you know that this animal now hii imepona?
Okay, we do a follow-up of the animal, and we can even dart it for the second time to confirm whether the wound, for example, was healed correctly. If in case there is an infection, we just take another chance to treat it for the second or the third time. Yes.
I have a question for the vet. Who makes the ultimate decision of when an animal is past the point of being treated, and now we need to, euthanize it? Is it the vet, and what are the, who do you need to check in with before making that decision?
And actually, do you decide to put it down, or do you send it home with the family? Unaambia family huyu, and then mwambia kwa heri.
Okay, sometimes when there is an injured animal beyond repair, if I can say so, there is no any other option. We do something called humane killing using some drugs called pendabarbital. The drugs will just kill an animal peacefully without any struggle or pain. So that is exactly what we do. But before we do that, we have to consult from the superior officers at our department here at KWS, give them the report of that specific animal before we put it down.
So there's a hierarchy in that decision making?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yes. How high up does it go? Does it have to go to the Director General?
not likely at the level of the senior assistant director.
Okay.
You can just discuss and.
Who is also a vet?
Yeah, no. Yes, there is a head vet.
Head vet.
Yes.
Head vet, you anamua now this one. From what you've said, we agree that we shall do the humane killing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's another lady who had a mic here earlier. You were going to give us your story. Tell us your name, what you do.
Koplurusi Karanja. I work with the Community Wildlife Service, dealing with problem animal control. In our office, this is where we receive reports from the community, raising their complaints, maybe of the problem animals which have invaded their farms or their properties. And what I do, immediately I get the report. I take the necessary details of the caller, knowing from which place he's calling and the problem itself. This is where I organize a team to attend immediately to the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the work of the community engagement is serious, right?
Very serious.
And it's what you were raising earlier in terms of this is where community has to come on board in the conservation effort. But at the same time, there is inevitably going to be conflict. Human population is rising. We are trying to conserve the animals so that we also continue increasing the animal population. So conflict will be there inevitably. And there are many areas, instances where now we have to deal with
that, that conflict in the most sensible way. I'm also looking at this as we celebrate this day for World Ranger Day, there is what the ranger was prescribed to be.
Yeah.
Initially, because they were addressing the problems of that time. And I'd be also very curious to know how long the profession of rangers has existed for, because the problems of then at the very foundations are not the problems of now. So is the profession also evolving to become something different, and also has the training shifted with that? Because as we bring up community issues, this is now becoming the number one issue from, what I would assume, and that poaching is, I don't know, maybe I need to hear an informed point, which ranks as number one as one of the issues the first issue that rangers now primarily have to deal with, going on to the others.
Bring up.
The problem now is, the biggest problem now is human conflict, and then followed by bushmeat poaching. Yeah, that's what we encounter now.
Human wildlife, was it always there? Like, if you look back at rangers in the 60s and the ranger of 2026, are they dealing with the same issue?
Okay, human wildlife conflict has always been there. It has been there before, it is here today. And I'm very sure it will be there tomorrow also. But the dynamics are changing because we have increased, population has increased. Most of the areas that were used to be areas of which were inhabited by wildlife, we'll find that people have settled there. So we have the corridors, the migration corridors have been closed. So that's why we see we are witnessing an increased human wildlife conflict.
How about in terms of response? Is there a change in the training and the response to all these issues?
Well, the response has changed because right now we are making sure that we deploy our teams very close to the problem so that they can respond as soon as possible. And again, we have we are using different tactics. We are using fences. We are using traps. We are also using drones to assist us in solving the problem.
We need to take a break, but when we come back, I'm curious to understand, one, the use of technology that you've alluded to. Are we up to date with more advanced technology? And also on the encroachment bit, how are the barriers really working? And, have humans become a little bit smarter in terms of how we are encroaching into these spaces? Stick around. This is Fixing the Nation, coming to you live from Savo West, where we are celebrating World Ranger Day.
And we are seeing a drone shot of the KWS band as the Rangers walk on the road, coming all the way towards here, the Mactau North Gate of the Savo West National Park. Beautiful shot there. Everybody must know. We must be seen.
Yes.
We must. We must be seen. Today is World Ranger Day, and the Rangers are commemorating just the work that they do in conservation. This is an event that's going to be held here. This community that's also being invited. Members of the community are here. Rangers are here. Rangers families are here as we commemorate this. The Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Rebecca Miano, will be here to actually just speak to the Rangers and to acknowledge the work that they've done. So there they are. We'll be back shortly after this break.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nelson. I'm from Meru. I'm a farmer both in animal and crop production. I'm fixing the nation by providing fully organic crops and animal products like milk, eggs, meat, and everything. Shout out to everyone who is doing their part in fixing the nation.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for that WhatsApp Nation video live from the Mactau North Gate of the Savo West National Park, where we're here to mark World Rangers Day. And yeah, the band is on the road. They are approaching, just about to enter into the park itself. They're coming here, celebrating and marking World Rangers Day. We're having conversation with the Rangers in the house, and we have Rangers who do security patrols, Rangers who are veterinary doctors, Rangers who are engaged in community engagement and community communication, Rangers who actually also look at animals outside of our protected areas, going into the communities, into community conservancies, on how Rangers ndio wamepiga kona. If you come from Voi and you take a very, very beautiful, smooth road, Kenha sometimes wins it big, like this road.
This one.
It's beautiful.
It's mind blown.
Yeah?
In fact, I'm just like, today morning, Kenha, receive your flowers.
Indio?
Yeah.
This is one of those, it's one of the few sections of the road in this country where you can drive for about 10 kilometers on a smooth road.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just the quality of the road, it is the signage, the markings, the lights that you drive in at night. Because yesterday we came here and we had to drive out at almost midnight. And it's how it was still very visible. Clear markings on where, you need to slow down because there's animals crossing and whatnot. The ecosystem is supported by the infrastructure.
This is a very, very well done road. So, what you're seeing there is they've just branched off the Voi Taveta Road. That is actually a major highway because it goes all the way to the Taveta Holili border into Tanzania. But it's just a few kilometers from Voi and also a few kilometers from Motate. You just get here, turn to your right, utaingia kwenye mbuga la wanyama la Savo Magharibi, Mactau Kaskazini Gate.
There's 7 gates. As Stacey was kind enough to let me know. There's 7 gates to the west.
To the west
of Savo.
only.
And
so
you
there's
can access
Mactau
it.
North, Mactau South.
There's Mactau. You can access it from Tito Andei.
You can access Savo West National Park from Chuluget.
Chuluget.
For you, from Kimana, you can use Chuluget. Then from Nairobi, you can use Mtito Andei. From Voi, you can use Savo River Gate. There is Ziwani Gate. There is this Mactau, Northern and Southern. And there is Lake Jipeget.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. Lake Jipe is actually very nice, and Lake Jipe is inside Kenya and Tanzania.
Aha. It's
when you're in the lake, unavuka boda, unachukua samaki wa TZ, unakuja kuwakanga hapa Kenya. They do that sometime. Before we took the break, we were talking about, the training and the trends, the changing trends.
Yeah.
And Fela, you were asking, the equipment, the communication, the accessibility of that. And Ndorosi was actually to respond to that.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to go back to your question on technology. Other than the drones that you are using, we're also using camera traps and collars. We usually identify problem animals in a particular group. Then we pick the leader and fix it with a collar, so that we can monitor their movement to know where they are and where they are heading to. This assists us in deploying our teams so that they can be there to protect the people before prevent the animals from going to people's farms.
There is the band. They have arrived.
Yeah.
They are right here. Let's just hear the Ngumo and Dogoshi.
Aha. There's the sounds of the marching band.
Able to scare ho.
Aha.
Are we able to hear the ho ho? Ho ho. What are they saying?
He's giving out orders.
Yeah?
He's giving out orders.
To say what? Poleni kwa kazi.
On the next action to take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is now finish and come and enter the hall.
Sure.
All right. Haya, karibuni sana. Marafiki zetu, karibuni sana. Ndorosi, you are talking about technology and you just answered the question of technology. There's another question here that has been asked on, have you found poachers and decided to resolve the issues down there without necessarily going to court? If yes, how did you do it?
Okay.
So unapata mtu ni poacher, si ati yako na task ya ndovu. No. You find somebody with a dik-tik. Unaona huyo kabisa hiyo alikuwa anaenda kukula.
Actually alikuwa na siafu.
Hey.
That was still considered poaching.
Yes. Siafu, you can see this one.
Yeah.
There's something. Huyu ambaye ameshika tu kaswara kwenda kuchinjia watoto wake.
Yeah, when you get poachers, we have to arrest him and take to him through the judicial process.
So there's no way you can have a conversation. Sometimes you could go and find somebody who has, just an animal. Kasungura. Sungura mjanja, ameshikilia masikio hivi. You can see here, he is just going to eat.
Okay.
Unamwambia asifanye hivi, weka sungura hapa, enda, na usirudie.
As my department, we are doing a lot of sensitization. So, hiyo kuelezwa kwamba kwa afanye nini, we are doing it through community engagements. We educate the community on why we should conserve our wildlife. So, when we get somebody inside a protected area, huyo ni yule ambaye hajataka kusikia. So, we have to take him to court of law.
So, hakuna kusameheana?
Hakuna kusameheana.
Afisa niachie mara.
Sababu hata hajasamea mnyama.
Sitarudia.
Hata sikuwa najua.
Hata sikuwa najua. Ni njaa imeleta.
Okay, they will always say that. They will always say that.
Teacher Stacy has said ignorance is no defense, which brings, if there's the element of ignorance, brings in the importance of education and continuous education to the communities in terms of them understanding what is allowed, what is not allowed, what should they report. I'm actually very curious. What is the reporting structure from communities currently looking like? Are they actively involved in terms of reporting uhalifu specifically?
Okay, yeah, the usual, it's not just uhalifu, they also report us on wildlife movements in their areas, and other reporting also people who are doing illegal things like bushmeat trade and poaching. Yeah. There's a data officer, and I'm very curious about the kind of data and information we are collecting as rangers, how we are transmitting that data to where it's being transmitted to, and also how that data is being used in direct application, whether it's in surveillance, whether it's in things that are emerging from the animals, and what have you. Well, it depends on what kind of data you are collecting. If it is things to do with poaching and wildlife crimes, the data is shared with the relevant departments. And if it is anything to do with human conflict, it is shared to the community department.
There's also a section of KWS that deals with crime and investigation. Like, the DCI Crime and Intelligence Unit of the DCI. There are officers who deal with intelligence, and one of them is here, Akona Mike Pale. Please tell us your name. I don't know, Karis, whether you can capture her. Tell us your name and exactly what you do.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Violet Lemarco, Investigation Unit, Tsavo East National Park. Investigation unit in Tsavo East is divided into two. We have Revenue Protection Unit, which I'm in charge, and then we have Major Crimes. So maybe I'll start with the revenue. In Revenue Protection Unit, we protect the revenue. So what we normally do when the vehicles or the visitors are inside the park, we go around the park checking on their tickets and verifying them to ensure the tickets are up to date, or maybe they're still valid, because mostly the tickets are valid for 24 hours. So I check at that. I check if you have paid the correct number of people, or are you carrying 6 visitors and yet you have paid for 4. So I think what we normally do is we double check to just ensure the revenue is well paid for, because they normally have the code. So once I have the codes, I can enter the codes into a tablet that I have, and then I can verify your ticket. Again, I check at the security of the visitors inside the park, because currently Tsavo is one of the parks that is recording the highest number of foreigners, and we are recording the highest revenue at this month, because we are on the onset of the peak season. The season is really picking up, and right now we really have a lot to do. On major crimes, normally when an arrest is done, the arrest is brought to us, and then that's when we process the arrest. We normally charge the person according to CWMA. So once the suspect is brought to us, we process a file to them, and then the following day we take them to court, and then we do a follow-up on the case. Yeah, we also take samples of the meat. Maybe you are caught with dick. We take the samples to the lab and bring the results out. We also facilitate our rangers to come to the court. Once you get maybe a suspect and the case is ongoing, you have to come for the hearing. That is, you have to come and testify. So we do a follow-up on the court cases.
Velaris, here is your CFO question.
Exactly. It's it was a big case because a lot of the public did not know that, first of all, this is considered poaching. Alafu, you see them being arraigned in court, and actually even hearing the fine, it shocks people, you know. How... I'm trying to find the best way to phrase this question. Nikichukua hata siafu moja hivi. It's a crime.
Yes, it is.
And I'll be charged the same as someone who's collected 500 safarians.
Yes, it is. You'll be charged with the same.
You know,
The only difference is we have endangered and critically endangered.
Okay.
That is when the penalties come a difference. But once they are not critically endangered, the penalty is the same. So someone having the ants and someone having the dicks, the penalty is the same. If you have one dick and someone is found with 100 dicks, the crime is the same. So we charge it the same penalties.
When you are doing your patrols, it is easy for you to notice large game meat, tasks.
Yeah.
Siafu. Unafanya patrol, umekuja kusimama kwa gari, lete receipt yako nione. How do you detect such small needs like now? Someone is carrying some ants at the door.
We check the vehicle actually to see what you are carrying. So that is when now we can identify that yes, you are carrying the ants. There is a search. We conduct a search.
I mean, if you have suspicious behavior, which I'm sure is one of the things that you're always on the lookout for, you have visitor Eric who's checked in and he's starting to look a little bit like he has hidden agendas. He's not just here to see the lions. He looks like he has a certain curiosity, exactly. So we can profile people. How long do we take to prosecute such cases? Because if you look, first of all, is there like a caseload? How long do we take to investigate and prosecute? Or is this one of those that's very quick because there's not too many of them?
Okay, majorly it depends. Once someone is arrested and they're taken to court, if someone enters a plea of guilty, the case is done. So if someone enters a plea of not guilty, now is when we start the process. We now that depends with the court. It doesn't depend on us.
Okay. It's again, I ask that because if you just look at the normal cases that do not involve wildlife, there's issues that we keep hearing that these caseloads, and that acts as a frustration for those that work in a service like yours. But from what I'm hearing from you is it's a smooth process.
Yeah, very smooth. I've worked with the Taita Taveta County and their courts. We have a very good relationship with the courts, and I've never seen the cases take that long. Once the person is there, and maybe once the case has started, they normally move very fast.
What did you train in? What's your training?
Basically, I did education. Yeah, but when I was taken to Savoist, I was taken to investigation, but majorly on revenue protection.
All right.
Yeah.
How long have you been with the Kenya Wildlife Service?
Just this year.
I see. So we have more rangers who are here with us, and today we are marking World Rangers Day, celebrating them. There's an officer who's a data officer, and Philaris, you had actually asked about a data officer. But
yes.
Mike, what is data? Is it telling us the number of tourists who've entered Tsavo West National Park today? The demographic, how many male, how many women, how many under 18, how many above 18? What is the data that you deal with?
My name is Corporal Alex Musioka from Tsavo West National Park, based at the Rhino headquarters. I'm a database officer. I deal with data from all the Tsavo conservation area. Basically, wildlife crime. The bushmeat, the snares, the arrays, all pass through me. I receive the data from various sections and companies, compile it, and then do the analysis. I do mapping for the crimes to see the hotspot areas. I do the heat maps to see the areas that are mostly affected, and I do patrol coverage, using the GPS receivers, when the rangers do patrols, I am able to extract the data from the GPS and then map it to see the areas that have been covered, and then calculate the kilometers to see the amount of effort that has been done. On the arrests, we are able to see the, mostly, especially bushmeat, we are able to see the species that is widely affected. Like in the Savo conservation area, mostly, it's the dik-diks. Dik-diks are dying, and I don't know what we can do, but I believe the management has seen it good to establish a anti-poaching unit dealing basically with the bushmeat. And that's a very good initiative by the management. We really appreciate, because our dik-diks are dying. And I just urge the public to avoid killing the dik-diks, because they are our future. And it is good to protect them.
How many dik-diks are being poached on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, if you average, like last year, we lost 1,662 dik-diks to poaching.
What?
That's an average of more than 3 a day. At least 3 a day.
No, it is almost 6 a day.
Wow, double that number.
All day.
And are there specific parks that have higher prevalence than others?
Yes, mostly the protected, outside the protected areas, there are communities that do a lot of poaching, especially the Kamba communities at the northern sector of the Savoist. And then you come to the ranges, the Taita ranges. That is where most of the bushmeat is being done.
Why do you think this is? It appears to be a new threat and a rising threat. Why do you think this is so?
I think it's mostly caused by loss of awareness, because most people don't see the importance of the wildlife. That's why they are killing it. And the population increase. I think previously, when the population was little, there was no that threat. But now that the people have become many, I think that is what is causing a lot of poaching. And the population being many, they are near the wildlife. That is what is causing a lot of poaching to the dik-diks and other animals.
Okay, I think that's a very big threat to, our wildlife, and especially when you talk about one specific small, beautiful animal being hunted, being poached.
Yeah.
It ends up on our plates. Sometimes, many times, maybe people don't know. People who are doing that for trade, to sell to unsuspecting buyers who think wananunua mbuzi.
Yeah.
And that's where now the work of, I think I get to understand, the data is actually pointing to this is an emerging issue.
Correct.
And the Kenya Wildlife Service and the management then needs to think, how do we address this? Is it going more to the community? Is it Sally going now to talk and be based there? Ongelesha watu kila siku.
Yeah.
Mwambie, or do you start a disinformation? Diktika hata sitamu.
There's many ways of skinning a cat, and I use that term very loosely. I'd definitely be curious to see what data from other parks is looking like in terms of, this particular species, which is the dik-dik, and, is it just a case of a case in isolation in Savoist, or are we seeing this across other parks? And, coming back to data being a very critical part of how resource allocation is done and funds are done. In the next hour, we'll be having a conversation with CS and the Director General, seeing how the present data is informing the decisions that are being made at policy level. Are we having proper distribution of those resources to address some of these issues that you're talking about, be it disease, be it the encroachment, where we're seeing the hotspots being, did speak to the hotspots earlier. I'd be very curious. Is it just where the dik-diks are being killed, or are there other hotspots that are dealing with other issues when it comes to matters wildlife?
That's coming up next. Yeah, it's coming up next. The Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife, Rebecca Miano, will be joining us alongside the Director General of the Kenya Wildlife Service, Professor Erastus Kanga. We are marking World Rangers Day with the rangers and the community that supports conservation. Keep it right here. It's coming up to 9 a.m. Good morning.